Hello and welcome to the incredibly influential and highly successful podcast. I'm Kale and I'm incredibly influential. That's right. Got the intro correct this time. Boom. Hell
You didn't,
yeah, let's go.
you didn't even let me speak yet. But I am also, well, I am Maxwell and I am highly successful. Damn it, you fucked me up.
Now he fucked it up. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the tables have
You didn't
turned.
even let No, it just invalidates your first statement.
The tables have turned, ladies and gentlemen, because I got it
Now,
perfect. I got it
okay,
perfect.
we still messed it up collectively.
We
I think that falls
collectively,
on all of
we
us.
collect. No, 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 no. Who the fuck is we? Who the fuck is we? I got it. I nailed it. I'm perfect. I no notes. Got it in one take. Perfect. I can't help that you messed it up. It's not my fault. I
You
didn't do that.
interrupted my whatever. It's fine. Here we
Interrupt these
are.
nuts. Interrupt these nuts. Interrupt these nuts. How about that? How about that? How about that? Okay. Hi everyone. It's Wednesday, July the 12th as we're recording this. 2023, by the way. Not we haven't gone forward or backward in time. Don't worry. Just wanted to make that clear. You
We
know,
are
just in
here in the
case.
present
Yeah, exactly.
for us.
In yeah, it's going to be in the past for you, but you're just going to have to live with it. That's just how the passage of time works. But we got a lot of things to talk about. Number 1, straight out the fucking gate. Let's go. We're going in. Threads. How do we feel about it?
I have not touched it
I
at all.
have touched it. So we are now on Threads. Threads.net/@IIHS podcast. Again, same login as Instagram and Twitter. Ironically, same everything as Instagram. That's actually a big part of it. Part of the pros and the cons. I kind of want to get into it because I've been using it more than you. Because I've ported over, I think all of my accounts, all of my Instagram accounts now have a Threads account. So that's pretty cool.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I'm not really sold on Threads.
See,
Uh,
I know I definitely like it. I definitely like it more than Twitter just because of who's running it. You know, uh,
you know,
yeah. Say what you will about Zuck the Cuck, but at least he's not Elon Musk.
I think you
Uh,
could say what you want.
I mean, I can say what I want wherever I want. Who do you think you are? Fucking commie? You think you're Stalin? You're gonna lock me up in the gulag? You gonna lock me up in the gulag? Fuck no. I'm an American, bitch. I can do whatever I want. If I wanted to wave my dick around while standing on the roof of the Empire State Building, singing copyrighted music, who the fuck's gonna stop me? That's right.
Uh,
Nobody.
okay.
Nobody. Um, so pros, definitely better management. Um, seems to have a better environment, honestly, just more friendly, more conducive to non-assholes. But that's because Threads hasn't become nearly as political as Twitter has yet. So I reckon in the future when it does become more political, that's going to be more of an issue. But for now, it's fine.
Yeah. Well, that's the
Um,
thing, is as a different platform, it can be moderated differently than
yeah,
Twitter, because, we all know that Twitter is kind of I
cesspool,
don't know, free
piece of
free
shit.
roam. You can kind of just do whatever on Twitter now.
Yeah, kind of.
So, I
Yeah.
mean, if you want a community that's more moderated and fixed, then
Mm-hmm.
Threads might be a solution.
Yeah, something like that. Um,
But I don't know. I'm not really sold on the Twitter, like, I guess, formula.
I
So,
see. I like it. I like it because I think with Instagram, it's annoying that whenever you want to post something, First of all, you can't post a link, period. Like a hyperlink. You cannot post a hyperlink on Instagram unless it's on your story.
That's true.
And
Or
that's just
your
annoying.
or your
Yeah,
profile.
yeah, yeah. Um, but with Threads, you can, and you can post something without having to post a picture. You know, like I get that that's like the whole point of Instagram, but given that nobody uses Facebook anymore, uh, it was high time for Meta to hop on the Twitter like, you know, the Twitter-ish bandwagon. I think it was high time for them to do that because that is a winning formula. But it's
You mean owning other social media platforms?
well, I mean, like that specific type of social media platform, that specific formula for social media platforms is a good one, and I'm glad they hopped on it because I don't hate it. You know, Twitter was okay except for the parts that made it Twitter, aka Jack Dorsey and then Elon Musk and the community. But Threads is appearing to be less shitty and toxic. We will remain. It remains to be seen as to if it will stay that way. But yeah, but I think yesterday, from what I saw on Philip DeFranco, I think they hit 100 million users, which
That's quite a
was,
lot.
yeah. In the first like 48 hours, they had more Threads accounts than Twitter had US users. So that's a fair amount. And so apparently it is successful. What I'm seeing is that all of the celebrities are moving over, but not a lot of like normal people are. You haven't moved over. A lot of my friends haven't even heard of it because Zuck decided to not do any like marketing for it whatsoever. Like the news media was talking about it, and again, of course, celebrities are moving over, but he didn't do like any advertising or anything for it, which I
I
guess is
see.
cheaper. And he's allowing it to like grow on its own organically without advertising. But I don't think that's a good idea, like marketing wise. I think they could have spent a little bit on there, and they would have been seeing even more signups. But it remains to be seen.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because their website that they're building it off of, Instagram, is basically a giant ad.
Yeah,
So I don't see why they can't just throw one more ad in for their platform. But
yeah. Well, it's because they'd be taking up ad space that they could be selling to someone else.
that's true.
So that
That's
is
very
an
true.
issue for them. So in the long run, I guess they're making more money like this. And yeah, well, I assume they will start marketing for it here in a bit. But till then, yeah. By the time this comes out on what is it, Tuesday the 18th? Yeah, I reckon they probably will have started doing that. So we'll see if it continues, but I think it's going pretty well. A lot of people have tried to make like alternate social media sites. A lot of people have come for YouTube, people have come for Instagram, people come for Twitter. Parlor came for Twitter, Mammoth came for Twitter, Blue Sky is coming for Twitter. But I think this has been the most successful one so far, and so I think it's just going to be interesting to see where it goes. But I do have some gripes with it. Since I've been using it, I don't know if you have any gripes you want to talk about that
Well,
you've
I haven't been
seen.
using it.
Yeah, if there's just been like anything that you've seen or heard in the news or something like that, if you've got any gripes there.
I've got nothing. I'm just
Okay,
not tied to the platform. So, what
okay.
did you find?
What I found is that one of the big issues is that there's no drafts. There's so like how you can like on Instagram and Twitter you can.
That's funny though.
It
I
is it
think
is funny,
it feels very reminiscent of regular Twitter.
but Twitter has drafts. Twitter has so here are some things that Twitter has that here's how
But
they
like
compare.
the errors in people's tweets are part of the charm.
Yeah, you can pay for. So I'm getting ahead of myself here, right? So here's some like comparisons here, and then I'll go over some of my gripes later. But obviously owned by two different people. Elon owns Twitter. Zuck the Cuck owns Threads. I don't know why I'm calling him Zuck the Cuck. You know, he does sell our data to everyone, and he's kind of a bastard like that. But he's better than Elon. I don't know why I'm insulting him. But on Threads, your post lengths are 500 characters for free, but on Twitter, you only get 280 unless you pay for Twitter Blue. You can post hyperlinks on both. You can post photos on both. You can post 5-minute videos on Twitter or on Threads, but 2 minutes 20 seconds on Twitter for free. Verification, yes, via Instagram. So if your Instagram's verified, you're verified on Threads. You have to pay for verification or get some special legacy verification on Twitter. You can still delete threads and tweets on both. No editing on Threads. You can pay for editing on Twitter. There's no DMs on Threads. There's no trending stories on Threads, and there's no hashtags on Threads, which I think is kind of weird that there's no hashtags on Threads because Instagram has them.
That's true.
And I kind of get why there's no DMs on Threads, but like because it would go through Instagram, so I kind of get that, but at the same time I don't really like. I don't know how expensive it would be to get that. So
I mean, it's
yeah,
kind of just a public platform, though, isn't it?
yeah, I guess I don't know. I just feel like there should be a way to access DMs from
Also,
Threads.
it would make Instagram direct messaging obsolete.
I think you should be able to access the same things from both, right? Does that not make sense?
Yeah, it
Like
does.
like I just want to like
If the
be
two
able.
accounts are connected, why can't
Yeah,
direct messages be connected on both?
yeah. So no drafts. Switching accounts is a little annoying because you know how on Twitter or Instagram you can just like press two buttons and like switch accounts, right? Like for Twitter, you just open your sidebar and then you press the account you want to use. Boom, you're in. On Instagram, this is on mobile, by the way. On Instagram, you go to your profile, you press your name, and you switch accounts. On Threads, you have to go to your account thing. Here, I'll do it right now. I'll do it right now. So you go to your account thing like you would on Instagram. You open up your sidebar, then you press log out, and then it gives you a log out of your account. So you have to press that, and then you have to press switch accounts and pick the account you want to get into if it's not the main one, because it predicts that there's like a main one for you. Uh, so you can like press that one and log in, but if it's not that one that you're trying to get into, then you have to press another button. So all in all, it's a lot more buttons to change accounts, and I don't really like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, the DMs are on Instagram and not on Threads. And my main gripe here, or at least the main gripe that I've been hearing, is you can only delete your Threads account by deleting your Instagram account. So once you create a Threads account, it's like on there permanently, unless you get rid of your Instagram account as well. So that's kind of annoying.
Well, I guess you have to be very sure of your choice if you decide to join or not.
Yeah. Yeah. So far, I would say the pros outweigh the cons. I like it. I just wish more people would sign up. I recommend it. Honestly, if you like Twitter but you hate Twitter, sign up. It's better in a lot of ways. It still has some ways to go, but when they start adding new features and updating it, it should be pretty solid. Also,
it's kind of it's only days old, so
yeah. And speaking of tech, I wanted to talk about something on. I wanted to talk about two things on YouTube. Number one, just a thing that really grinds my gears. Have you ever noticed, like when you're on YouTube, right? Like you're logged in, you're watching a video, right, and an ad comes up, and you're on your phone, right? Um,
Yes.
you're watching it in full screen, so horizontally, right? And a vertical ad comes up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like irrelevant or inappropriate or repetitive, right? So you go to report it, right? So you press the little button, the little like I button, like the information button. But when you do that, it doesn't open it. It just switches back over to vertical. So you have to go over to vertical and then press the button. And by then the ad's already played. So do you know why it does that?
Why is that?
So the way when they do that, it's because YouTube gets more ad like people will want to buy more ads if more ads are watched all the way through. So when they screw you out of that, they can make it so that you're watching the ads all the way. So they're able to like be like, hey, more people are watching the ads all the way through. You should totally buy more ad space here. At least that's my understanding, if I recall correctly.
That's kind of crazy
Yeah.
because
So,
the
yeah.
content creator did not make that choice.
True. Yeah. Um, but yeah, it's a little annoying. I'm gonna be honest with you, but you know, like I've been seeing a lot of fucking Jake Paul doing Rush Royale, and let me just say, if I never see Jake Paul or Rush Royale ever again, it will have been too soon. Many, many, many months ago. That will have been too soon. The
Hmm.
first time I saw it, it would have been too soon because that was a bad experience, and I don't like it. I fucking hate Jake Paul.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
if that's your introduction into it, I would
Mm-hmm.
be upset too.
Yeah. Um. Shit. I kind of segued into YouTube, but I there was something I wanted to talk about that was blowing up on other social media. Do you mind if we backtrack, or should we
Sure, it's
go, or
still
should we
tech.
go forward?
It's still tech related, I
It is
guess.
still tech related. Um.
It's just a third point.
Yeah. So tech related. Third point. How do you feel? Did you see the Jonah Hill drama
Nope.
with his ex? Okay. So Jonah Hill's ex came out after a few years of them breaking up, and she was like, he was like manipulative and narcissistic and misogynistic, and
But he
uh,
cured Kanye's anti-Semitism.
he did fix it. Um,
Man has done wrong.
yeah, but so his ex came out and accused him of being like manipulative and
Hmm.
narcissistic, but she posted.
That's not really like a, I don't know. Can you really accuse somebody of being narcissistic?
uh
I mean, I guess yes. We will accept the fact that he is a narcissist, but I mean, I don't
yeah.
know. I don't know if it really sways my views on Jonah Hill.
So
Um,
yeah, but
okay.
here's the thing, right? So what she said is he was abusive and misogynistic and manipulative.
Okay.
Uh, and she leaked some text messages. I'm gonna send them to you. You guys, while you're doing this, if you're driving, I don't recommend you like, you know,
Pull up some texts from
yeah,
Jonah Hill.
don't Google it if you're like driving and listening to this. But if you're you're sitting down, you got your phone on you, um, yeah, uh, pull them up. You know,
Yeah,
go
okay.
go check them. I
Let's
I, I don't want to like.
entertain the Jonah Hill drama.
Yeah. So I sent them. I sent those to you on Instagram. But for those of you who don't know, uh, Jonah Hill uh, was in a relationship with this woman named Sarah Brady. This was, I think, a couple of years ago because he's already been with a new woman, and I think they already have a kid together. So this has been a while. But his ex recently came out and was like, "Hey, you're abusive and manipulative," and she leaked some text messages where he was like, "Hey, I need you. I would prefer if you, or like, I'm setting a boundary. Um, I need you to delete like some of these like photos, um, uh, certain like pictures, certain posts, and I need you to like check like the like friendships slash like relationships you have with like other men, right? So there here's the list of things that he says are like his boundaries. And here's the a quote. He says, plain and simple, if you need surfing with men, boundaryless, inappropriate friendships with men, to model, to post pictures of yourself in a bathing suit, to post sexual pictures, friendships with women who are in unstable places and from your wild recent past, beyond getting a lunch or coffee or something respectful, then I am not the partner for you. If these things bring you to a place of happiness, I support it and there will be no hard feelings. These are my boundaries for romantic partnership. My boundaries with you based on the ways these actions have hurt our trust. So I have some opinions on this.
Yeah, go ahead.
And he says, you know, I've made my boundaries clear and you refuse to let go of some of them and you made that clear and I hope it makes you happy. And he's like, I respect your stuff and the I have my own issues that I own. Uh, if you want marriage and family, you can't use the 25 card, step up and cut shit. These people don't get your time or your kindness at the sacrifice of mine. And I'm like, okay, so here's how she's trying to frame it. She's trying to say that Jonah is forcing her to do this, and he's like somehow abusing her by saying, you need to do all of this right now. But what he's literally saying, and she's posting the screenshots of it,
Yeah.
which is not really helping her case, which is that he is saying, hey, these are my boundaries in a romantic relationship. If you can't, if living by them is too much for you, then we're not compatible. I'm happy for you and I support you, but I can't be in a romantic relationship like that. Literally, homeboy is having boundaries, and people on the internet, mostly women, mostly feminists, are shit talking him for it. And all I don't want to sound like the stereotypical like podcasting white guy, you know. I don't want to sound like a Aiden Ross or an Andrew Tate or a Sneeko or whatever.
Yeah. So saying this should absolve you
But
from being associated. Is that what you're saying?
all I'm saying is it's not very feminist to say that about a man who wants to have his own boundaries if you want men to be open and honest about their feelings. And also, if it was a woman doing this, if a man leaked a woman's text messages like this, no one would be clowning on her. Everyone would be like, all right, fair enough, those are her boundaries, right? You know, if he doesn't like it, he can leave. You know, that's just how it is. Again, nobody would be shit talking this if a woman said it. But a man said it, and so all of a sudden people have problems. And I think there's a bit of a double standard there that shouldn't exist. And that's all I'm going to say. I'm going to get off my soapbox now. But that's I needed to talk about that because I think that's a fucked up situation. And I think it's bullshit that a man can't express his own boundaries without being labeled abusive or narcissistic. Right?
Yeah.
Because he literally said she was free to leave. She was free to leave. You know?
Mm-hmm.
He literally said he would support her. He just can't be in a relationship like that, man. Like,
yeah, this seems very private.
It is very private. And I think Homegirl is mad. You know, she's a professional surfer. Yeah. But he is motherfucking Jonah Hill. He's motherfucking super bad. He's motherfucking 21 and 22 Jump Street. You know, what has she got that's like equal to him? The most clout she's ever gotten is from dating him. So it feels like she's coming out and trying to start shit because she misses the clout of being with Jonah Hill. That's just how it is. That's just what it seems like. Because homie did nothing wrong, and now everybody's shit talking him because everybody loves to shit talk a white dude, you know, or just a dude in general. Because people are uh, shit talking the what is it, Kiki Palmer's guy, and that one's a little more indefensible because he's like, you a mom, but she's the mother of your. Are you familiar with that drama?
Nope. You
Okay,
should enlighten everyone.
so again, this one's a little bit older than the Jonah Hill stuff, but so Kiki Palmer, she was in Nope by Jordan Peele, if you're familiar. Um, she went to a show in Vegas. I think it was Usher. Yeah, she went to an Usher show. I think it was in Vegas. It was definitely an Usher show. Might have been in Vegas. Either way, she sort of went in this very revealing outfit, and she's a recent mom with some guy. I don't know who he is. Uh, Literally, again, it's like the only clout they have is from dating a more famous person, right? And
Okay.
so she went out in this like revealing outfit, and Usher, there's like this viral video of like Usher serenading her, right? And instead of being like, hey Usher, do you mind fucking off, she's taken, he comes at Kiki for wearing that revealing outfit, so everyone's kind of clowning on him, right? And I'm like, if he had come at Usher instead of Kiki, that would have been a lot more defensible, but like, come on, man. So like, I kind of get why people are clowning on him, but I also think that even if he had come at Usher, there would have been women being like, don't be so insecure, like he's just singing to her, and it was a little it was a little bit more than singing, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, in either situation, these things are not of serious consequence because they're over. I feel like they're
Yeah,
a little more harmless over text than if they did something.
yeah. Well, the
And
problem was the guy,
mhm,
Kiki Palmer's, whatever he is, I don't know if they're married or not, baby daddy, um he literally he posted it on Twitter. Like he retweeted the video, and he was like, and he was talking shit on his baby mama, and that was a little bit fucked up, because that was like, they made that public, but uh when it was like the Jonah Hill thing, that was already private, you know, that could have
yeah,
stayed private, and she chose to make it public. But like, God, that is super, you know, I a thing that I have noticed. I don't want to, again, I don't want to be on my soapbox all the time, but if a man has boundaries, or uh, like wants to or like has like insecurities, or is vulnerable, you know, people will come out of their way and talk shit about them. You know, people say that, hey, we don't want toxic masculinity anymore, but and we want vulnerable men. But when men come out and they be vulnerable, that's people start talking shit on them, right? And so what I've found, the way I describe it, and you can tell me if this is true for you, but
okay.
people don't want vulnerable men. They don't want like uh, uh, less toxic men. They want the idea of that, if that makes sense, right? Like they want the glamorized Hollywood image of a vulnerable man, not like what it actually is, you know?
Um, I guess I kind of see what you mean. It's like people have an image of what an ideal version of a vulnerable man is.
Yeah.
And
And when they get the actual version, they don't like it.
hmm
I think it comes down to people don't know what they want. And I think that's just true like everywhere. People I would say the defining characteristic of humanity is that they don't know what they want. I, your mileage may vary on that. What do you think about that?
um, I mean, this guy Jonah Hill is telling her kind of in a way that she shouldn't live her lifestyle. I mean, he is doing it with a lot of. I think he's doing it with a fair enough understanding of what his boundaries are
Yeah,
as a person
he's saying
saying that.
yeah.
So, at
He's
least
not
from what I
saying
read,
yeah, he's not saying that she can't live that way. He literally said that he supports her if she does want to live that way, but he can't be in a relationship like that.
yeah. So basically, it felt like she was uploading text of him breaking up with her, which is like kind of all it seems to be. And I mean, like people can have their own opinions about that, but I don't think that really builds on the conversation on whether it's good or bad. What he did is just kind of what he did is break up with her.
Oh, yeah, something like that.
Which
Um
like fair, like I mean, if you need to do that, then break up with that person. I don't
exactly.
I don't I don't know. I mean, like I guess you can feel upset about it, but like the yeah, I don't think it's fair to get, you know, random anonymous people on the internet to back you up in this breakup because like what it just
Yeah.
like it does it matter? Does it really need to matter?
Yeah. I just homeboy's got boundaries, homeboy's got issues, he said as much in the text,
He has
he's got his own issues.
vulnerabilities. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And he has boundaries. And people will talk shit. People will say that, men need to set boundaries, they need to be open, they need to be emotionally honest. But when they are, and it doesn't go the way of the woman, they will get pissy about it. And there are more serious instances of this that I'm not going to, bring up
Yeah.
because
I wasn't
this
gonna
this podcast needs to be we have a tone going on this podcast, and that's about as serious as I want to go. We do not want to get like
I
too
wouldn't
serious with that
I
shit.
wouldn't associate it with all women, but
A
oh,
disturbing amount, a disturbing proportion of women do not respect the boundaries of men. And
I would certainly hope not. That's a lot of people on the planet that are women.
it is a disturbing proportion. And I've asked a lot of uh, uh, strangers. I've asked some of my friends, like, hey, has there ever been a woman who didn't respect your boundaries, or like when you said you didn't want something and they kept pushing and guilting and like coercing you, has that happened? And a lot of men have said yes. So it's either a few women who are repeat offenders or a lot of women who do it like once or twice. And either way, it's a scary amount, and I don't think it gets talked about enough. And I don't want to stay on my fucking soapbox anymore, so I want to change the subject.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Um, uh, can we talk about the Ahsoka trailer? Can we?
Yeah. Is this your transition? Went from tech to uh
Well, that is kind of tech. There was like some Twitter issues about like videos and stuff.
yeah, not some news I've heard of.
Well, it just released yesterday. Um, do you want to? So you haven't watched it yet?
What?
The Ahsoka trailer.
I have.
Oh, you have. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
I was going to say let's I was going to make you watch it during the ad break and then we can come back and discuss. But
Okay. Well, we can
now you've
talk
already
about it
watched it.
after. I mean, do you want to talk about it after the ad break anyway?
We do still need to talk about it after the ad break, yes. Thank you guys for sticking with us so far, and enjoy
We'll
the
be right back.
ads. And we'll be right back. Since I moved out on my own, I've been working on trying to stay healthy by avoiding fast foods and fatty meals, as well as keeping my hydration up. I know how bad it feels when you're severely dehydrated, and it really helps to have some help keeping your water and electrolyte levels in check.
That's where today's sponsor, Liquid IV, comes in. Liquid IV is the category winning hydration brand fueling your well being, and their hydration multiplier is the one product you're missing in your daily routine.
In just one stick, you get 5 essential vitamins and twice the hydration speed from water alone, plus 3 times the electrolytes of a traditional sports drink. You can use it first thing in the morning, as part of your workout routine, after a long night out, or on long flights. Anywhere you need hydration, you can use Liquid IV. I particularly recommend it due to the festival and concert season starting, since partying all day in the hot sun really makes you sweat.
Liquid IV is also made with premium non-GMO ingredients and is free from gluten, dairy, and soy. They are also partnered with many organizations providing protections for water access worldwide, donating over 39 million servings to over 50 countries worldwide.
Get 20% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use code IIHSpodcast at checkout. All one word, by the way. That's 20% off anything you order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code IIHSpodcast at liquidiv.com. Go check it out at the link in our description. Thank you to Liquid IV for giving us a sponsorship. This episode has been generously sponsored by skunknuggetparenting.com, run by my own talented mother. Parenting is hard. Sometimes kids and parents are like night and day. It can be very hard to get on the same page with them, and a lot of parents have anxiety that maybe they're doing it all wrong. Luckily, there is a service out there that can help. Skunk Nugget Parenting Solutions is a company that provides parent coaching services, resource referrals, and psychological profiling, along with 24/7 phone and text access in an all virtual program. Plus, the first consultation is free. In order to get this amazing service, please visit skunknuggetparenting.com. That is skunknuggetparenting.com. Thank you to Skunk Nugget Parenting Solutions for sponsoring this episode. Thank you all for listening. And now, back to the podcast. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the show. Thank you for sticking with us. We're going to be talking about Ahsoka trailer. How do we feel?
Yeah, I mean, I feel good about it.
Yeah, I mean, Mary Elizabeth Winstead still doesn't look great as Hera. Still,
I think it's, I mean, for practical effects, it doesn't look that bad, honestly.
yeah,
I mean,
and
you can, I don't know. I don't, there's been kind of a flip-flop on, you know, the choices of whether to use practical effects or special effects to create these aliens. And I think what they did on the makeup is pretty good. Um, I think the casting is really cool for these people. I think they have a lot of material to go off of to portray these characters. That goes for everyone. I
mm-hmm,
mean, we'll have to see how their performance actually holds up, of course. But
yeah,
I mean, yeah, she's definitely probably one of the more promising people cast
she's
in.
a great actress. She's a
Yeah,
great actress, but
exactly.
I just don't like the design.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very confused as to what you can like about it, since you don't like the show that the virtually the entire cast of characters comes from. So,
I just don't like the way the blue eyes looks with the green, and that's not what her natural eye color is.
I mean,
And
what is the character's normal eye color? Because I actually
Blue, but it looked
it
better in
is.
animation. Hera, all right, Hera looks good in Rebels. There are two designs that I like in Rebels. One of those is
you
Hera, and the
you
other is
don't like
Kanan.
most of them.
Yeah, but the two that I like are Hera and Kanan, and you know they didn't nail what I liked about Hera because Hera looks better in animation. I don't. Maybe it's just that you can't really make a Twi'lek look that good, especially green with the blue eyes. I think it has to be the eyes. I think it's the eyes.
I mean,
It
that's
is the
fair
eyes.
if
Yeah.
the eyes are putting you off. Like,
Yeah. It's uncanny valley shit. It's just uncanny valley shit. I don't like it. Her eyes are not that color and it doesn't look right.
well, yeah, they're clearly not. But I mean,
And they're like unnaturally blue. If they were just normal blue, it'd be fine. But they're not, and it's unsettling and I don't like it.
yeah, well, I think it's a nice like cross from the animated show into this live action show that
Yeah,
we're gonna get.
I guess.
But
I don't know.
yeah, I am excited for it personally. I think it's cool that we're getting some follow up on these characters after uh
I hope
it's maybe I don't know how many years, but quite a lot.
yeah, I hope Timothy Zahn gets some creative input on the show since Thrawn really is his baby, you know?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, I think he was consulted for like
Rebels.
yeah,
And they made him write like a whole trilogy, another whole trilogy.
that's
Yeah,
I don't think he was too happy about that, but he did do it.
he did. And I've heard they're not quite as good, but you know, it's still Timothy Zahn, it's still Thrawn, it's still
Yeah.
pretty good.
I mean, it's a different story.
Yeah. And yeah, I don't know. Even when Timothy Zahn's phoning it in, he's still pretty damn good. You know what I mean?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Rosario Dawson, um, I still think her little head things are still not big enough, but that's fine. How do we feel about Sabine?
I feel like they're spoiling the show.
A little bit, because especially since they showed what looks to be like it's going to be the final fight between Ahsoka and the Inquisitor in the forest. And guess who that Inquisitor is? It's Ezra, 100%. I'm telling you right fucking now. There's a reason he's in the fucking mask. It's Ezra. That's going to be the big reveal. I'm telling you right now.
I don't know why they're showing this much of the show. I feel like they could show other parts of the show and like
Yeah. I feel like maybe it's just not that
spoil
long.
most of it.
I feel like it's just not going to be that long.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
6 episodes, isn't it?
Yeah. You know, it's just going to be like over and done real quick.
Well,
And we're getting a 2-episode premiere. So it's only going to be 5 weeks, right?
interesting.
So it's just going to be like over and done, like a fart in the whirlwind, bro. Yeah.
I mean, I also feel like it could be possible that they're showing stuff from only the first 3 episodes.
Maybe, but I don't know where they could go from there because that looks like a lot. Unless those first 3 episodes are long as fuck, I don't know where else they can go from there. But that's what they did with Mando. You know, we barely got to see the rest of Mando. You know, we didn't get to see any of the like Mandalore stuff in. Well, we did get to see some of the Mandalore stuff in Django or in Mando, but in like we didn't get to see any of like the new Mandalorian super soldiers that the Empire has or that monster. Yeah. We still don't know what that fucking monster was.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the 3rd season doesn't hold up compared to the first 2, but that's
Probably
kind of
not,
off the subject of the trailer.
I think there's very few shows that the 3rd season is better than the first 2. I think Clone Wars was one of them, and I think I mean, Rebels probably. You know, season 3 was a little bit better than the first two.
I liked I like the dark saber stuff, the Maul stuff. It's all pretty good.
Yeah, Sam Witwer really carries it.
Trials, yeah,
Yeah,
definitely good
yeah.
part of the whole overall show. I don't know, but that's like focusing on Star Wars shows in particular,
I
which
was
I
gonna
mean
say Community.
that kind
Community
of
has a. I would say Community's third season is better than the first season, but worse than season 2.
mm,
How would you agree with that?
haven't watched it.
You haven't watched Community. What the fuck are you doing?
Not
What are you
watching it.
doing with your life, man? It's so good.
So I've
It's
heard. So I've heard.
that we need to do
That's a long
IIHS
show.
watch
I
part.
don't.
I know it is, but it's worth it. 6 seasons in a movie, dude. The
hmm,
movie hasn't come out yet, but when it does, we're doing all 6 seasons. There we go. Um
Um,
yes.
moving on.
The E-Wing is back. We saw 3 classic vehicles from Star Wars in this. We got the the T6 shuttle that Ahsoka has.
Yeah, it's cool to see these in live action because we've never seen them
I don't
in
like
live action before.
what they did with the Eta class. That's the other Jedi shuttle.
Why?
Um,
That one looked awesome.
I don't like the cockpit because I like the little ball cockpit, and it doesn't have the ball cockpit, and I feel like
What?
that's like the most defining design element
Really?
in
It
that one.
doesn't? It looked like it did.
It's more cone shaped. It's more like the one that the Bad Batch uses, and I'm just not as much of a fan of that.
I guess when they
Knock
had
that shit off,
the
dog.
I guess when they had it in the cartoon show, it just I don't know.
Yeah,
It was easier to do it like that.
I don't. I think it's iconic. I think it's iconic, and I like it. Shut up, dog. Um, yeah, I think that's a good design. And the E-wing is back. How do you feel about that?
Um, I feel like I haven't seen that ship in like a long time.
Yeah, I I'm gonna say
Oh,
something.
this ship is a lot like I don't know, old. It's like a ship design from the old Republic.
If
Obviously, it's from post
yeah,
Empire, but that's a
it
cool ship. Cool.
I'm gonna say something, and people might agree with me. I know a lot of people like the E-wing. I hate it. I can't stand it. I think it looks too much like some
They
shit
give
from
the they
like.
give the astromech a seat. They give him a whole chair.
Yeah, I
He
also
doesn't
don't
have
like
to sit
the
outside the ship.
I don't like the R7 astromech droid either, but that's from Legends, and I think it looks ugly, ugly as sin. So like the special astromech droid for the E-wing looks stupid, and I hate it. The one that we have in this one looks better, but I really don't like the E-wing. I think it looks like a generic sci-fi spaceship that was inspired by Star Wars rather than an actual Star Wars design. It looks like some shit from Battlestar Galactica, if that makes sense, you know?
I guess, but I feel like I feel more familiar with the design because I've seen ships that look like it in other Star Wars mediums.
Yeah, it looks like a rip-off X-Wing, is what it is.
So are like half of the ships that
Yes.
they use. So
However,
what's the big deal? What's the big deal if all these ships feel like X-Wing knockoffs? Like,
it doesn't look cool. It doesn't feel Star Warsy enough. It
I mean,
feels like Battlestar, and I
I
don't
mean,
like Battlestar.
I don't know. I feel like you could make a criticism on all the shuttles having like the same design.
Well, that's because they're all designed by the same people. They're all part of the same line.
Yeah,
I think it's like
you
the
know, Star Wars,
Absidarian line.
the Star Wars line.
Shut up. But they're all made by the same people, and they're all part of the same like
So why
line,
can't the
right?
E-wing be part of this? Like,
Because it doesn't look. I understand why it looks like a rip-off X-wing. I'm just saying it looks like a rip-off X-wing in a bad way, right? it looks like somebody else in some other franchise was like, well, we can't use the X-Wing, so let's just make something that looks like it, but like not. And they did that. And I don't like it. And I think it looks stupid. But you know, that we're really focusing hard on that. We should talk about how do we feel about the villains? Apparently, first of all, rest in peace, Ray Stevenson.
Rest in
Um,
peace.
Apparently, his character knew Anakin during the prequels, which since
Yep,
he's
that was
apparently
information given.
yeah.
So this man's old.
Um,
But it's cool. I mean, like, I like this. New characters, new stories. Um, it. You haven't watched Rebels, but I think some of the most interesting.
I have. I watched most of Rebels.
Yeah, but you haven't watched the whole show. And what happens in this show, in Rebels at least, is some of the most bizarre Star Wars content you
Oh, I
will
know.
find.
I'm well aware. There's sentient wolves that are maybe literal force gods. There's time travel. Um,
Yeah,
whatever the fuck Bendu was. Yeah, I'm well aware of the wacky shit that goes on in Rebels.
but that's all really cool. I like the idea of the, I don't know, the Force being explored in these ways instead
If
of
they put time travel in Star Wars, I'm
it's
done with
probably
Star Wars.
it's probably some of the most I mean, I don't know. I think it's a cool direction for
I
because I
just
mean the because like the Force as a concept can literally do anything. I feel like it should be allowed to do that, and like the whole purpose of like stories in the Star Wars universe are to explore what are the extent of power the Force has on the galaxy.
I already think the Night Sisters have a little bit too much power because they can like teleport and shit. You know, they can open like literal fucking portals and
Yeah,
teleport and shit. And
it can
like,
reanimate the dead.
well, that's easy, right? All you'd have to do is like just use the force and work it like a marionette, right? You know, just move the arm to make a punch. You know, that's easy, right? But with
I don't know why somebody can't like move their entire body from one place to another.
you
It's
can. It's called walking. It's
I don't
easy.
I don't know. I mean, I think that they can kind of write whatever they want into their universe.
I
And
know, but it there comes a line that breaks it for me. You know, teleporting matter in the sequels, that was a little bit too much for me, but you know, it was the
yeah,
dyad,
I
it
mean,
was the that
they
thing.
kind of just made its own rules. I mean, some of the stuff was ridiculous, but like it for me, they didn't have anything to do with the Force exactly. Like
You know,
I think
like they
the key knife thing was probably like I mean of all the dumb things in the movie, I put it at the top. But
how so? I That's easily explainable. They just went there and they were like, "Okay, there's where it is. We should probably make a map just in case we lose the thing and we want to get another wayfinder."
I
You know,
mean, but that knife is supposed to be like I don't know.
yeah, the
Just
blade is old, but that part of the handle is new. They just added that. They
oh,
yeah, that was an add-on. They didn't make that millions of years ago and just be like, someday when somebody builds the second version of a planet destroying moon, and it crashes on this one ocean planet, we're gonna need this. So we're gonna put this in thousands of years before, and then it'll
yeah,
make sense. They didn't do that. They just added that in post. You
but
know?
they still added it. Is what
Yeah.
you're telling me?
Justin.
That's the plot point I have a problem with though. So it's a
Okay.
part of it anyway.
All right. Last Crusade. There's a literal X marks the spot in the fucking library to tell you where the tomb of Sir Richard is.
Yeah, but they excuse it by saying it's a Roman numeral,
Yeah,
so it kind
yes,
of
it's
gets
the
a
Roman
pass.
numeral for 10, but why would they put that there? Why would it be like that? Why
I
would
don't
they
know.
leave a map to the tomb of the guy if they want to not have the location of the Holy Grail? If they're trying to hide it,
They
why
put
would they
Roman
leave a map?
numerals all over the library. There's just like I don't know. It's just all it's the way it is for whatever reason. It's fine.
Why would they, in Raiders of the Lost Ark, leave a medallion to find the Ark of the Covenant if, first of all, the Egyptians who had it got literally all of them killed to a one by literal God? Why would God, who killed all of them, leave a medallion to find the Ark of the Covenant? There's a
So
bunch of shit that
so
we
it could kill some
excuse.
Nazis.
See, there's a bunch of shit that we excuse in these movies that we probably shouldn't excuse, but because it's in certain newer movies, we are watching them and we're less excusing of it because we didn't grow up with it. When Last Crusade, when we were watching Last Crusade as kids, that was just given, right? When we watched Raiders as kids, that was just a given, right? But
So now we have to question it.
so yeah, now we're questioning it because it didn't come out when we were kids, and it was just, well, that's just how it is, it's been around since 1981, that's just how it is, right? I think if you just accept the idea that they wanted a map to go there just in case they needed it, but they wanted to leave it mostly undisturbed, that's pretty easy explanation, you know?
I guess.
Yeah, because I mean, as it turns out, those wayfinders are pretty easy to destroy, considering once Rey goes there, finds the wayfinder, literally, she fucking drops it, and Ben Solo crushes it in his motherfucking hand, which is kind of metal as fuck, honestly. I
Yeah.
I think that's I Ben Solo's just a fucking G. He really, I liked those movies, but I will admit that he fucking carried. That is a hard carry. He was the best part of those movies by a lot.
Yeah. He's always very fun on screen.
He's so Adam Driver's just great. It was really funny to watch him in Black Klansman, just like saying just the worst shit. It was so fucking funny. That was that was a really really funny movie.
Hmm.
Yeah. Uh, we watched Secret Invasion episode 4. This is
We
gonna be a
did.
long episode. This is gonna be long. God damn it. Um, yeah, Secret Invasion episode 4. How
Yep.
do we feel about it? Spoilers. We're just jumping right into it.
Well, spoilers. It's people getting shot a lot. I feel like somebody's been shot at the end of every episode.
Not episode
And
2.
oh
Ep-
yeah.
yeah, that was just Nick Fury got fired and went home and made out with his wife.
So every episode but the second episode, and there are 4 episodes, and with somebody getting shot at the end of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
So, is that creative as a show? I I don't think so.
I think they're leaning on that a little bit much. Also, the death fake out for fucking Gaia pissed me off. Like, I get why, and I understand the explanation, but that being said, I hated it. It sucked. I hated it so much. Um, just the
Yeah,
idea, yeah.
I didn't really care for it.
Um, yeah, not great, not the best,
I
but
don't know. I feel like I don't I'm not very interested in the whole story.
yeah, there's no fucking superheroes. There's
Yeah,
no fucking superheroes.
it's just graphic. Their main antagonist is not a very compelling villain.
Also him, not a very compelling villain. So we have no villains. barely any fucking heroes. It's such a nothing show.
They could have done like something to build on like the the conflict between him and Fury, but they don't really have anything.
No, because they just
And
introduced him to this show.
they're supposed to be like fighting against. Well, they could do something in the show to establish something, but they didn't. They've like they did something when like he was a kid and
Yeah,
Fury was nice to him, and now we're just supposed to buy into the fact that he's a bad guy. So
yeah. He
I
had like
I don't
no
know.
setup. There was no setup for him. He's just like, yep, here he is. Here's the main villain. There he is. There's Gravik. Like one of his
Yeah.
first scenes, it's just him sitting in a fucking cafeteria. That's just it. That's him. That's our main villain of the show. Just sitting in a fucking cafeteria.
Hmm.
You know, he's almost as bad a villain as fucking Carly the Flag Smasher from from Falcon and Winter Soldier. That was ass. It was an ass villain. He sucks.
Yeah. So in short, live action Marvel shows not not heat.
Loki was good. Loki was really good. WandaVision was pretty good. You know, they've done good shows before.
Yeah, but they've also released like I don't know,
This
eight, so
Falcon and
many
the Winter Soldier.
so many shows in the span of 2 years.
Yeah. You didn't like She-Hulk. I thought She-Hulk was pretty okay. I liked Hawkeye.
I liked Hawkeye.
I liked Moon Knight. I like Moon Knight a lot. I'm a big Moon Knight fan, but I like Moon Knight a lot. Oscar
I
Isaac is a fucking king.
I
He's
think
that's
they
another
could have
actor who is
they
carrying
could
the
have
sequels.
changed the how they released the show to get better reception for it.
Maybe, yeah, but I don't know. I liked it. I thought it was good. Um, yeah, I I I I think a lot of good shows have been uh put out, and I think this is disappointing. This is in the bottom two, honestly, and not even fucking Samuel L. Jackson, Don Cheadle, Olivia Colman, Colby Smulders, Ben Mendelsohn, Amelia Clark. Not even this star-studded cast can save it, and that's really frustrating.
Hmm.
You know, it's a cool premise, but it doesn't work when there are no fucking superheroes. The whole point of Secret Invasion is fucking superheroes, man.
I'm kind of just tired of superheroes.
I'm not. Did you see the Superman casting? We forgot to talk about it last week, didn't we? But Superman casting.
Yeah, Rachel Bronstadt, is that her name?
Let's see. We got
She's a good actress. I think she could do a great Lois Lane.
David Corn Sweat. I mean, I kind of see it, but Rachel Brosnan. Um, uh, Nathan Fillion is Guy Gardner. They casted uh, what was it? Darwin from X-Men First Class as shit. I
He
forgot
did
who it was gonna be.
he did like virtually nothing in that movie.
I know that was sad because he's a good actor. I like him.
And Darwin's so powerful.
Yeah, Darwin. Yeah, the one character who can't die, and they killed him. Uh,
Otherwise, that movie is pretty solid.
yeah. So this was just announced, I think today or yesterday. But yeah, David Cornsweet and Rachel Brosnan are Superman and Lois Lane, but Isabel Merced is Hawk Girl. Oh, yeah,
Damn,
Darwin
this
from.
sounds like a big movie.
It is. It's gonna be huge. Nathan Fillion's in it, man. I fucking love Nathan Fillion. Can I just say how much I love Nathan Fillion? Like, I don't really like cop procedurals. I think they're all really fucking generic.
Do
But
you like The Rookie?
no, I like Castle. I do not like The Rookie. I like Castle. Castle was fucking great. I miss it so much.
How many of these cop shows was Nathan Fillion in?
Just two, but he was really good in Castle, and I also like The Mentalist, even though the Mentalist is very formulaic. I really they're both very formulaic, but they have really good main characters and really good performances, and that's what I like. It's just very very good performances. But Um, yeah, Darwin from X-Men First Class, he's going to be playing Mr. Terrific. So that's cool. Good for him. Hopefully he gets a bigger part. Um,
I'm ex- I for one am ready for our new DC universe.
yeah, I mean, it's going to be better than the old one.
I mean, don't get me wrong, a lot of what was set up in the Snyderverse from his one movie alone was
Yeah,
cool,
but
but
yeah,
none of the other movies following that have really been, you know, on that promise. So it's
yeah,
just kind of fell flat since then.
yeah. Um, yeah, definitely not a big fan of that.
It's kind of a
Um,
mess. Aquaman has people walking out of their early test screenings. So
oh,
what's
really?
yeah,
Ooh, I'm not
yeah.
excited for that. Uh, oh,
Well,
Barbie and
the
Oppenheimer. That's gonna be the next episode, isn't it? Where we go and see that. That's gonna
yep.
be. Are you excited?
Um, yeah.
I am. I I hope they make Oppenheimer look like a little bitch. I hope they make him look like as much of a little bitch as possible. Because it's
Maybe
literally me when the bomb I designed to kill people kills people. You know, it's Oppenheimer was a bitch. I could have kicked his ass if he was still alive. I'd kick his ass. He's a bitch. I don't like him.
yeah. I mean, I think the situation where you have a country doing what they did in that war, or you know, every it
Yeah,
just
if
yeah,
they're doing that during the war, there comes a point when you just gotta be like, suck it up, Buttercup. You're getting nuked. You know.
there's some drastic measures had to be
Yeah,
taken to end the war.
exactly.
So I don't know. I think the movie will be fun. Christopher Nolan, you know, great
I think
director.
Christopher Nolan is the most uh fucking up his own ass motherfucker in the whole world when it comes to directing movies. So hopefully, if he takes his head out of his ass for a second and gets a deep breath of oxygen before he goes back up there, it might be a pretty good movie. But if it's just gonna be pretentious wank all over the fucking cinema, and I'm gonna get covered in splooge, I think Barbie might be better. You know, Barbie's
Yeah,
looking really good.
no, it's really fun to watch both those movies and then
Yeah. So just
definitely give a
yeah, just so
judge
you
judge
guys,
both movies based on comparing the other.
yeah,
Even though they
yeah.
probably have like nothing in common with each other.
Well, yeah, that's the whole point. But just so you guys know, we're doing Barbie and Oppenheimer, but we're each doing it in a different order. So for me, I'm going to see Oppenheimer first and then Barbie second. He is going to
For
go
some
see
reason.
Barbie first and then Oppenheimer second. Well, because I wanted to do the opposite, and also the scheduling worked out better. Because there wasn't really a good time on Thursday for me to go see Barbie and Oppenheimer one after the other. And then I didn't want to wait until like Saturday or Sunday because that wouldn't give us enough time to record the episode. So I wanted to just go and get it out of the way early. Are you going on Thursday or are you going on Friday?
Friday.
Okay, that's what I figured. All right, so that's what we're gonna be doing. We're gonna be doing Barbie and Oppenheimer. Very exciting. Now I wanted to switch gears. This episode's already on track to be a little bit long, so let's just make it like 2 fucking hours. Might as well. There's a
Yeah,
little
why
treat
not?
for you. There's a little treat for you. You're welcome. Merry Christmas. Um, I had a little realization today. Um, and I asked Maxwell before we watched Secret Invasion together. I was like, I need you to think about what do you think is the best year for music? Because we're both old heads,
We
Matt,
are.
Max, you're 60s and 70s more so. I would, if I
Yeah.
recall correctly, your dad's big on the 60s and 70s. Um, if I recall correctly, and I'm a bit more 80s. Um, So I've picked out my year. Have you picked out yours?
Sure. I've
O-
picked a year.
Okay. So for me, my favorite year for music is. Can I get a drum roll?
Drum roll.
All right, 1987. Uh, what's
Okay.
yours?
Uh, I was gonna pick, I don't know, 60, 67, maybe. I don't know. It's 1 year of music.
Yeah, I see. 1987. A lot of people don't recognize it is a stacked year for music. Like
Hmm.
here are some albums that came out in 1987. Appetite for Destruction, Guns N' Roses. That might be the best album of all time, right? Like, come on, it's Appetite for Destruction. Bad by Michael Jackson, Joshua Tree, U2, Slippery When Wet, Bon Jovi, Hysteria, Def Leppard, uh, Whitney Houston title album, self-titled. Um,
That's what it's called.
well, it's called Whitney.
Oh, I
Um,
see.
yeah, White Snake, White Snake by White Snake, Faith, George Michael, Girls, Girls, Girls by Motley Crue, Kick by NXS, Permanent Vacation by Aerosmith. Like that stacked year. That is a stacked year, right? Is
Hmm.
that not just crazy? It's insane. Like think about the songs from these albums, right? You know, you got the 1, 2, 3 combo from Appetite for Destruction. You got Sweet Child, Paradise City, and Welcome to the Jungle. You know, all three of those. If your album, if you release an album in a year that has all three of those songs on it, it's going to be one of the best years in music, just period, right? But then you also got Here I Go Again, Girls, 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 Wild Side, I Want to Dance with Somebody, Never Tear Us Apart, Bad, Smooth Criminal, Man in the Mirror, Animal, Pour Some Sugar on Me, Love Bites, Ragdoll, Dude Looks Like a Lady, With or Without You, Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For, and I've had the time of my life because remember, Dirty Dancing came out in '87 as well. It's crazy. It is a fucking stacked year, dude.
I mean, yeah,
But
that's all pretty big music.
it's fucking classics, man.
Give you that.
You know, and but I also noticed. One second. I got a dry mouth from
Gotta
from
hydrate.
talking about all that. Uh,
All that music you just dropped.
and and yet literally the best song of all time, Sweet Child of Mine. I will go on record. I'm gonna officially say it. Sweet Child of Mine is the greatest song ever released by a human being. Probably will ever be released by a human being. It is perfection. That is a perfect song. But also, there is the anti Sweet Child of Mine, the worst song ever released by a human. And it also released in 1987. And I think I've
Oh,
talked about
great.
it before. I
Just
think I've
cancels
talked,
out.
yeah, I think I've talked about it to you before. I think I've talked about it on this podcast before. But the worst song in human history. Do you want to any guesses at all?
I don't know.
It's actually from one of those albums that I mentioned. And I'm going to get a lot of heat for this actually, probably from you.
All right, let's hear it.
The Way You Make Me Feel by Michael Jackson. The
Um,
worst song.
I
Period.
mean, I'm not gonna take too much offense by that.
It is a bad song. It is everything bad about the late 80s and 1990s, just all rolled up into one song. Because the 90s were like the worst decade for music. They were pretty goddamn bad.
I
You
mean,
know,
yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna like. It's not. It's not the same as like other Michael Jackson songs. So,
it's not good. It's really bad. Like I like Man in the Mirror. You know, Man in the Mirror is cheesy and cringe, and it's very 90s in a bad way. You know, it's 87, of course, but it's very 90s in a bad way. but
Hmm.
you know, it's miles better than The Way You Make Me Feel. Because that is just a meandering song. It doesn't go anywhere. It's bad. It's bad. It just from like note one, from frame one, it is just unappealing to listen to, and I hate it. And I hate it so much. It is not fun, and I don't like it, and I want to die every time I hear it.
I see.
It's
Well,
bad.
there you have it. I
Uh,
mean,
what came out in '67 that you're uh
well,
so
I
big
didn't
on?
I didn't do the same kind of research that you did for like all the music, but I'd say I don't know. Probably one of the reasons I liked uh I
There were
watched
Beatles albums in '67, if I recall correctly.
that's right. I'm kind of running off of that, but
Uh,
um
Probably not their best album though. Uh,
I don't know. I think Sergeant Pepper's came out
yeah,
in
that was
'67.
okay. Yeah, Sergeant Pepper's is. If you wanted to say that Sergeant Pepper's is their best album, I, yeah, I wouldn't agree, but I would understand it.
But it's pretty big for music.
Uh,
I
there's a
would say
Beach
a
Boys
lot of
album.
people were influenced by that one album alone.
Yeah. Um, yeah, Smiley Smile by the Beach Boys. You know, that's there. Uh, Magical Mystery Tour. That's a
Also part of uh yeah.
yeah.
So
You
it's
got
all that one album.
you got you literally got Penny Lane, Strawberry Fields, Hello Goodbye, and All You Need Is Love on that album. Plus you got Sergeant Pepper's. That's a good one. Whew. Yeah, that was a pretty good year.
All right. Well,
It,
that's my
it's
answer.
it's yeah. But how about '69 though?
Um I mean the music was okay,
Led
but what
Zeppelin 2, Green River, Abbey Road, Let It Bleed. Some good ass albums. That are you sure I can't? Oh shit! In the Court of the Crimson King came out in '69. Oh hell yeah, that's way better. Yeah. I hate to break it to you, but ain't shit gonna compare to King Crimson. I'm sorry. I'm
I mean,
sorry.
yeah, I'll I'll give it as a toss up between 69 and 67.
Cause
How about that?
cause that was like the last like year of the Beatles, man. You know, you got your
It
Abbey
was,
Road. Yeah, that was like the last big one.
but I don't think it's nearly as powerful as Magical Mystery Tour.
Probably not, but it's so iconic though. It's so iconic though.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good.
It's really good. With the Beatles, right? Like when it comes to the Beatles and shit, you know, they they really like spread their best like songs out. You know, it's hard to pick a favorite album because all of their songs are like all spread out on different albums. You know, you got like Help's got a couple of good singles. You know, Yesterday, Help itself, obviously. I'm I've always been a big fan of Act Naturally. You know, even though it's a Ringo track, uh, I grew up on that one. That one's entirely nostalgia. But you know,
Yeah, no, I like that. I
yeah,
mean, yeah, so there's my answer to your question. I mean, looks like you put a lot more thought into this than I did.
I did. I noticed there were so many good fucking albums that came out that year, man.
87, you
'87,
said?
Hysteria by Def Leppard. That's a standout. You know, like, uh, you know that. But I say that's a standout. But again, Appetite for Destruction, Joshua Tree, bad. You know, White Snake '87, man. There's so many good albums that came out that year. And next year, the year after, 1988, that was probably like the best year to be listening to the radio
Because it was
because
all music from '87.
yes, and also there were some pretty good tracks that did come out in '88. This is actually topical. Tracy Chapman's "Fast Car."
Yes,
You're familiar?
I
That
am.
was '88. Yeah, Tracy Chapman. That was 1988 album. But did you hear the new Luke Combs cover?
Nope.
That's like, yeah. Apparently it's good. It's like topping the charts right now. I don't pay attention to pop music anymore. That period ended for
Clearly,
me in like
clearly,
2019.
your mind's on the '80s.
I mean, my mind's always been on the 80s. Both of my parents, my dad was 17 and my mom was 14 in the summer of 1987. So like it was literally like a perfect storm for me to, you know, love that year for music. But like
Mhm.
at the same time, you know, it half of it's, you know, because I was raised on it, but like the other half is just it's really good. It's a really good year, man. That was it's an incredible year, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of good music you listed off.
Yeah. I know they're like really normie answers, but like come on, they're classics. I Want to Dance with Somebody, man. Like that's like the best pop song ever. Or even if you don't think it's the best pop song answer, that is the most pop song that ever was, right? Like can't we
Uh,
agree on that?
I guess we could
Cuz
choose to do that.
that's like the poppiest pop song ever. But it's so fucking good. That year was so good. Go listen to more 1987 music, everyone. Yeah.
That's our takeaway.
There you go. Go enjoy it. You won't be disappointed. Big Red Buttons. Do you have one for me?
No,
Shit. I don't have one either. Oh God.
here's one.
Mhm.
You, uh, I don't know. It's like your favorite year of music
Mhm.
becomes popularized, but it doesn't change.
I mean, yeah. Why would I want it to change?
There you go. I guess you push the button.
Change how? What do you mean?
No, I mean like you just like wouldn't get other music. You would just like
Oh,
I
like
mean,
that. Like it would experience a resurgence in popularity, but like
exactly.
there would be
Like
no new music ever again.
it would become, well, yeah, people would like, I guess, stay on this music.
Okay.
They wouldn't change from it. It would just like,
Uh. Uh.
would you
Yeah.
take it?
I think so. Honestly. I. Yeah. I mean, 1987 was a good year. How? I mean, I don't know. I don't stay like looking at the pop charts. Apparently, from what I've heard this year, uh, this is not a good year to be interested in the Hot 100 because it has just been bad.
Isn't it most of it Taylor Swift songs right now?
Yeah, it's just been her George Lucasing her back catalog. Thank you, Todd in the Shadows. Shout out Todd in the Shadows for that comparison.
That
Yeah, she's George Lucasing all her old songs. But yeah, I think. Whew, I don't know, man. It's rough. It is. Whew, that is. There are good new songs. Like last year had a couple of really good songs that we had. You
hmm
know, um, they Lizzo actually got me to like her. I don't know if that was last year or this year, but it was that "Am I Ready to Be Loved" song.
I see.
that I thought it was pretty good, honestly. You know,
Nice. I
she
mean,
yeah,
I
she
like
never
her
clicked
music.
for me. She never clicked for me before. You know, I didn't like Juice. I didn't like uh Good as Hell. At none of those other songs, even About Damn Time, didn't really click for me. But that song really clicked for me. I was like, damn, that's actually pretty damn good. Um, As It Was pretty solid. Uh, what else did I like? What else did I like? Bad Habit. That was probably my pick of the year.
Yeah. I mean,
That was a really good song.
Lizzo makes some great music.
I hopefully she continues to. Hopefully she continues to make songs like that because I really enjoyed that song a lot.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, Steve Lacy's Bad Habit really clicked for me. Um, uh, Chris Stapleton's still making good music. Does he count as pop? He was on like the Hot 100. You know, he's
Uh,
been on the Hot 100 sometimes. Does he count?
I guess.
He's like the only thing that I like in country anymore. But he's so good. He's so good. I fucking love Chris Stapleton. Yeah. Would you press that music if all music just became 60s era for the rest
Nope.
of forever? No.
No. I mean, like, that does sound kind of fun.
Yeah.
Radio would be really fun, but I think there's too many years of music.
Yeah. I wouldn't press it. I don't. I think the I think what makes the 80s and the 70s and the 60s and the 50s special is they ended. You know, there's a finite number of songs that came out then. You can make music that's like inspired by it. You know, Greta Van Fleet made an entire career ripping off Led Zeppelin, but
Yeah,
uh,
that's like really their whole career.
yeah, and Led Zeppelin made an entire career stealing bits from other people's songs. So really has come full circle. But uh, I
Yeah,
think
I think
you
they did it
gotta
first.
yeah you gotta know when to let go, and I think the oversaturation and also the hindsight bias really helped. You know, everybody loves the 70s, but nobody likes Disco Duck.
What?
I think that's a good point.
Yeah, I'll agree with you on that.
Yeah. So we're only remembering the good parts and not the bad parts because we weren't there for the bad parts. You
True,
know? Yeah.
true. They must have sat through some shit.
They really did. There was a lot of really shit music back then. You know, Peter Cetera, the Captain and Tennille, you know, that type of shit. The
Hmm.
soft rock easy listening bullshit. That that was terrible. And I'm glad it hasn't survived. Nobody plays the Captain and Tennille anymore. And
As it should be.
as it should be. A fucking men. I think we can end with that. Fuck the captain. Fuck Tennille. Fuck them both.
Hmm.
Uh, 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 there's another band that's like really, really bad. They're like famously bad. I forget their names, and I think honestly that's probably good. I think that's the desired outcome is that everybody just forgets their names,
Yeah,
so we can stop making fun of them. We don't even have to remember their bad songs, and they can die out in relative obscurity. And
great.
there we go. And that's how we'll end it. Uh, if you guys want to follow us on social media, remember we're now on Threads. So on Threads, Instagram, and Twitter, we are at IIHS Podcast, all one word. I want to thank our patron, Justin Connor, Sporter tier patron, Justin Connor. Thank you for helping us out financially. Helps us do really cool things, like when we go do that double feature
Barbie
of Barbie and
Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer. Very cool. Um, we're also going to be doing a The Rock IIHS watch party over on Patreon for our $5 patrons, the influential and successful tier. So you can head on over and claim your week-long free trial. For that, you'll get access to all our episodes ad-free and early before they come out on the normal schedule. So go over and do that. And again, also movie commentaries as well. That's pretty cool. And yeah. Patreon.com/IIHS podcast. Again, all one word. Other than that, I cannot think of anything else I have to say.
All right. Neither can I.
Let's do it. We're gonna bring it home. We're gonna get the outro right this time. We're gonna do it. You know, we got the intro perfect 100%, and we're gonna get the outro perfect. All right, here we go. All right. Whew. All right. Whew. Okay. There's a lot of pressure. I'm Kale, and I've been incredibly influential.
I'm Maxwell, and I've been highly successful.
Thank God. Thank God we finally got it right.
We'll see you all again.
We'll catch you next week.